Every hero thinks they're saving the world, but so does every villain. In anime, the bad guys aren't just yelling, they're making way too much sense. 6 anime villains, 6 uncomfortable truths. Starting with Light Yagami from Death Note. Light gets dropped a notebook. It kills anyone whose name is written in it. And what does this honor student do? Take a nap? Write a Reddit post about the meaning of justice? No. He decides to single-handedly fix global crime by deleting every criminal off planet Earth. Now, obviously, the God complex is concerning. The man literally calls himself Kira and laughs into mirrors. But hear him out for a second. The justice system in Death Note's world is the same one we all know. Slow, corrupt, full of guys who walk free with 3 lawyers and a Twitter PR team. Light looks at this and says, yeah, that's not working. And weirdly, he's not wrong. Crime rates drop after a few months of Kira's reign. Wars stop. Bad guys turn themselves in just in case Kira's bored. Statistically, the man was effective. It's terrifying, but it's effective. The problem isn't his diagnosis. It's the prescription. Light started by killing actual criminals. Then he killed cops investigating him. Then he killed people who annoyed him. Then he killed his own girlfriend. The slope wasn't slippery, it was a water slide straight into hell. So yeah, Light was right that the system is broken. He was just spectacularly wrong about being the guy to fix it. And speaking of villains with a god complex and a body count, let's talk about Nagato. Nagato shows up in Konoha. Looking like a depressed rock star with 6 bodies on remote control, he destroys the entire village in about 10 minutes. Casual. But before you write him off as another edgy anime villain, listen to what this guy is actually saying. Nagato grew up in Amegakure, during a war that wasn't even his to fight. Konoha ninja stomped through his country like it was a shortcut. He watched his parents die. He watched his best friend Yahiko sacrifice himself because the world wouldn't let them just have peace. And Nagato looked at all of that and said, why does this keep happening? His whole philosophy: humans only understand each other through suffering. Sounds insane, until you actually open a history book. The biggest peace agreements come after wars, not before them. Nagato wasn't just venting. He was making a point the ninja world had been ignoring for generations. Konoha had this weird habit of starting wars, and then expecting everyone else to forget about it. Nagato decided he'd be the reminder. And here's the wild part. Naruto actually agrees with him. Naruto doesn't say, you're wrong. He says, I'll find a better way. Because Nagato wasn't wrong about the cycle. He was just stuck inside it. The man caused mass destruction to make a point, which honestly defeats the point. But his diagnosis of the ninja world? Surgical. Now, while Nagato was tearing down a system from the outside, our next villain went after the heroes themselves. Stain walks around with a stitched-together face and a katana, just vibing in alleys, picking off heroes one by one. On paper, that's horrifying. Serial killer hunting people in capes? Lock your doors. But Stain's whole thing isn't all heroes must die, it's fake heroes must die. Once you actually look at the My Hero Academia world, you start nodding instead of recoiling. The hero industry in that show is exactly that, an industry. Heroes have rankings, sponsorships, merch, billboards. Endeavor became #1 hero by grinding for fame, abusing his family along the way, and treating heroism like a corporate KPI. Mount Lady saves people, but she also makes sure the cameras get her good angle. Heroism became a job, not a calling. Stain looked at that and said, nope. His one rule was simple. If you do this for money, fame, or clout, you don't deserve to wear the cape. The only hero he ever respected was All Might. The only one he spared was Deku, because both of them save people for the right reason. Because someone needed help. The murder spree is obviously a bit much. You can critique the system without becoming, I am the system now. But the system did need the critique. Half the kids in UA wanted to be heroes because it pays well. Stain just held up a mirror with too sharp of an edge. And while Stain was busy filtering out fake heroes, our next villain wasn't even sure humans were worth saving. Meruem hatches by ripping his mom's stomach open from the inside, immediately starts eating his siblings, and casually informs everyone he's the new king of the planet. Great first day on the job. But here's the thing about Meruem. He wasn't completely wrong. He looked at humans with those massive, observant eyes and basically asked, "Why do you guys get to be on top?" And honestly, humans don't have a great answer for that. Meruem was physically stronger, smarter, faster. He could learn entire skills in minutes. He played the world's best players in chess, Go, and Gungi, and beat them while learning the rules in real time. By every measurable metric, he was superior. So why should he bow to a species that loses to mosquitoes every summer? His logic wasn't, "I'm evil." His logic was, "I am simply the next step." Like, he genuinely saw humans the way humans see ants. Not malicious, just not impressed. The thing that makes Meruem so wild is that he actually changes his mind. After meeting Komugi, a blind human girl who beats him at Gungi, he starts asking himself bigger questions. What is value? What is worth? Is strength really the only measurement of being alive? Meruem was right that the natural order he was raised on said he should rule. He just discovered something even higher than his own logic. Connection. The villain whose entire identity was, "I am supreme," died holding a girl's hand, asking her to play one more game. Meruem evolved past his hatred. Our next villain went the opposite direction. Started as a victim, turned into the exact thing he was fighting. Calling Eren a villain feels weird, because we spent like 100 episodes rooting for him to punch every titan in existence. But by the time AOT wraps up, this man is causing the literal apocalypse and calmly walking through a field of bones like it's a Sunday stroll. The rumbling kills 80% of humanity. That's not edgy, that's genocide-level math. So calling him a villain isn't a stretch anymore. But here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Eren had a point. Paradise Island was an entire population of people who didn't do anything. They were born inside a wall. They didn't start the war from 100 years ago. They weren't even told what their ancestors had done. And the rest of the world looked at Paradise and said, "Yeah, we should probably wipe them out." Marley wasn't just hostile, they were actively planning the extermination of every Paradise citizen, including kids. Imagine being born in a place, never having harmed anyone, and the entire planet decides you should be erased because of what your great-great-grandfather did. Eren grew up in that, lost his mom to it, lost his friends to it, and finally said, "Fine, if you want a monster, here's a monster." You can't excuse what he did. 80% of humanity isn't a footnote, but the framing of Eren went crazy misses the actual setup. Every adult in his world failed to find a peaceful answer, and they put that burden on a teenager. Eren was right that the world wanted Paradise dead. He just chose to hit first. Where Eren turned into the monster the world feared, our next guy embraced the monster label from the very beginning. Garou trains under the best martial artist alive, then leaves to become a hero hunter. Most people would assume his motivation is generic. Bad guy hates heroes, beats up heroes. But Garou's reason is actually one of the most human ones in any anime. When Garou was a kid, he watched a TV show where the hero always beat the monster. Every episode, same formula. Hero is good, monster is bad. Monster gets dunked on. And Garou, the weird, bullied kid who never got picked, looked at that and asked the question nobody else was asking. Why does the monster never win? The whole hero-villain framing in One Punch Man is basically a popularity contest. Hero association rankings are based on PR. Strong heroes ignore weaker citizens because it doesn't pay. C-class heroes do most of the work and get none of the credit. The good guys are often the most dysfunctional people in the room. Garou looked at that and said, "If society's gonna call me a monster anyway, fine. I'll be one so terrifying that I become the new top of the food chain. And once I'm there, nobody else has to be a monster just because they're different." It's a wild philosophy, but it tracks. He literally got bullied for siding with the monster as a kid. He's not crazy. He's trying to flip the entire framework. Garou wasn't wrong about the system being fake. He just thought punching it would fix it. Spoiler, it never does. Anime loves a clean, good versus evil setup, but the best of them know that sometimes the villain's mic drop is the most honest line in the whole script.